Household model, household model. Right, it's the household models. Scroll painting, collage, oil paint, which I completed June 29, 2026, and there's a bit of a joke behind yeah, there's a bit of a joke behind why I titled this work of art Household Models, and it was at one point I was doing some still life. I did a series of still life works with oil pastel and pencil, and I got into doing these still lifes with fruit. And one day Maggie, that's my daughter Maggie, and we were at the grocery store, and she had gone over and looked at flowers or something while I was in the produce, and she comes over, and I'm like kind of giving the peaches a squeeze, check and make sure they're ripe, and Maggie looked at me and said, "Dad, are you filling up your models?" I like to give them a squeeze before I use them in my artwork. So it just became the joke of like sort of offhand joke about maybe there's some like models and artists and more going on in the studio than artwork sometimes. So we just kind of made a joke there, and so household models is a reference to sense of humor, little pun here and there, pun intended, and so we're going to talk about household models, a scroll, and let's get right into it. Scroll painting. Scrolls were used primarily in Asia, Middle East, and the languages there ran from right to left. So with the scroll painting, when you view a scroll, you go from right to left, and that's how I video my scrolls. And one of the things, it's like I'm using oil paint to splash about instead of ink. I started using sumi ink and on rice paper back in college, and quickly picked up the Chang style, Japanese Zen Buddhist splashing. I used it in pottery and slips under glazes also. So my art, when I was taking art classes, they did not teach me how to paint the way that I am using oil paint today. There's Marilyn and a nice pot, and have some metallic oil pastel that reflects when you hold it to the side. So you'll see me going doing a slant view of the artwork. But yeah, I was having a conversation with a friend. It was like 12, 13 years ago, I don't know, something like that. And he commented that his somewhat limited knowledge. He's not an art historian or historian of Japanese or Chinese artwork, but he said, to his knowledge, no one had ever done a scroll painting using the Chang style of sumi ink on rice paper, and so I promptly ordered a long roll of rice paper, and when it came, I took it outside, rolled it out, and did a painting. All one, just the whole scroll painting at once. And then after that, I started doing sections, and the challenge here with our sections is to get them to blend like an overlap from one section to the next in such a way that you can't tell that they're done in sections. So this is section 1 and section 2. I didn't do a video of the first section after I completed it, so I unrolled both the whole scroll at that point in time. I unrolled it and did this video all at once. And there's a span. And I'm gonna, one of the first things I do is write down the title of what the work is. So, I'm looking at some food. I've done some collage of food. Especially book art. The Dada cookbook had lots of magazine photographs of food. So there's the household models where I wrote it down sideways. You cut belch there? Alright. Hot weather out here. There's a good view of the whole thing. Sections 1 and 2. And then section 3, work from right to left again. And then these models, I don't remember some photographs from started out an Andy Warhol publication interview. Interesting models, photographs, fashions, some food, and another photograph magazine page from interview. Sometimes we get famous people making a cameo. There's a nice kitchen interior. And that's where the overlap happened. So, see if you can tell. Here's section 2, and then section 3 began, and another overlap. And sometimes when I'm doing scroll work, I feel like there's this little kind of a time bubble where a part of scroll making, going all the way back to when there was papyrus or leather, various ways of creating a scroll. And those scrolls were a good way of making information mobile. So a person engaged in commerce, you stay cool, calm, and collected. Oh yeah, baby. Stay cool, calm, and collected there. Some shared by in the scroll, hey? But yeah, it feels like Star Tribe music. That's part of scroll making. You know, these merchants going out in the camels and having scrolls for their record keeping, or scholars writing down the Bible and translating and writing in scrolls and so on, the various ways that scrolls have been an important way of recording information. So there's a narrative, there's an important story as a part of it. And I'm always like, really, there's JFK, hey, a few minutes before the assassination. And another magazine of Maryland. I put some gold metallic on it. Fun stuff. Norma Jean. I'd write down her birth certificate name. But yeah, it's like that feeling of being part of that ancientness. Ancient. There's the overlap. Section 3 blending into Section 4.